Hello, I'm Mike, this is Will, and we are the Tabletop Donkeys.
Hello.
And we're bringing you issue 11 of Warhammer 40k Conquest today. And in this issue we got 3 easy to build Primaris Aggressors. So heading into the issue, we have some background information on the Aggressors themselves. You see them here with their Flame Storm gauntlets. And on the next page there's some background information on the actual Gravis armour that they wear. And you can see this guy has the Bolt Storm gauntlets, the alternative, which unfortunately the easy to build models do not have. And we have some background on the Death Guard invasion of the Ultramarines home sector, Ultramar. And again here, and here's some fiction about the Salamanders chapter, William's favourite Space Marine chapter, fighting orcs.
Hooray!
And here we have our onto the build guide. You can see that even though these are easy to build, so you don't need glue, there are a lot of parts, and they're fairly fiddly. And I would say, putting these together, that you should probably glue. You might be able to make out these cabley bits that fit between the gauntlets and the backpack. You should probably glue those in. They don't fit too well. That's a bit clearer here on the Aggressor B. And onto the painting guide. It's fairly simple. Same Ultramarines colour scheme, should be used to it now. Although I would say that it's probably easier to paint these base bits separately. You just pop them out, paint them and pop them back in, as long as you don't glue them. And then we'll head into our first mission this week, Fire and Fury.
So we're on to our first mission for this issue, Fire and Fury. Now, according to the text, the Space Marines have deployed some aggressors, who are specialist close quarters troops to try and stem the tide of Death Guard coming onto the strike cruiser. And for this first mission we have the forces you see in the picture there, 12 Poxwalkers and 3 Plague Marines against the 3 brand new aggressors. Then the rules that we'll be using this week are all for weapons that hit automatically, so this is all to do with the aggressors. They have Flamestorm gauntlets, which are essentially big powered fists with flamethrowers built into them. And the way those work is that they hit automatically and they get 2d6 shots per aggressor, so roll 2d6 when they shoot for each one, and that's the number of shots they get, and they hit automatically, hence automatic hits. It's also worth mentioning that they can advance and still shoot with their weapons, because they're assault weapons, which is something we'll learn about in a couple of issues' time, but for now it just mentions that explicitly. They can advance and still shoot. It's also worth mentioning that the aggressors in melee have, well, effectively equivalents of the power fists that the Plague Champion has. So they wound on a 2, and they... Oh no, well, the Plague Marines and the Blight Hall are save on a 6+, it says, so actually they're not quite as good as the Champion's power fist at this point, but... And then they do d3 damage each. And then we've got another bit here about automatic hits. They still work in Overwatch, so even in Overwatch you automatically hit things, which is quite dangerous, especially if you're Poxwalkers who don't like being shot with flamethrowers. So in this mission we don't actually roll off for deployment. It specifies the Space Marines deploy first, and as you can see Mike has put his aggressors on the deployment marker furthest to his left. And Death Guard deploy second, and I've just deployed all of these guys like you see here on my left. And then Space Marines get to take the first turn in this mission, so we're going to go into Space Marines turn 1. So Space Marines first movement phase. As usual, the first mission, the objective is just to wipe each other out.
Yeah, so I get to advance and still shoot, and I'm probably going to end up too far away for a charge if I don't advance, so I'm going to advance. I only got 1. So Aggressor's only have a base movement of 5, so I can only go 6 inches in total. So in that case... So if I had hoped, if I'd rolled really high, I could have gotten to about here and would have been in range to flame them, but I didn't roll high enough, so I'm just going to move up to here instead.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning, I don't think I mentioned in the introduction, their Flamestorm gauntlets have a range of 8 inches only. So that's going to be it for Space Marines turn 1, because there's not going to be any charges or shooting, so straight on to Death Guard turn 1. So as you will see from these 2 range rulers that are placed here, the 8-inch range from those flamers and the 4-inch move of the Poxwalkers means the Poxwalkers are very, very slightly outside of 8 inches away from the aggressors, so they can move up and attempt to charge without actually the risk of being overwatched. So, well, they're going to do that because there's not really much to lose from it. So Poxwalkers are shuffled up there 4 inches. Plague Marines are going to move over there 5 to about here. They've moved up there, and then we're going to go straight onto the shooting phase. The Plague Marines can see over the top of the Poxwalkers, shoot the Intercessors, so we're going to start with that.
The Aggressors.
The Aggressors. Yes, quite right. So, we're going to start with the plasma gun. It has 2 shots, hitting on 3s. 1's a bad. No 1s. 1 hit. It wounds on 2. It does.
6+ armor save. Nope.
Nope, so that is 1 wound on an aggressor. They have 2 wounds like all Primaris Space Marines. 2 shots from the Blight Launcher. Oh. And 2 shots from the Bolt Gun. 2 hits. No wounds. Anyway, we're going to go on with the Poxwalkers. They're going to declare a charge. As established before, they're more than 8 inches away, so you can't shoot Overwatch at them with those flamers. Which means they need to roll a hard 8 to get in, though. Oh, they have.
Yeah,
They've got a 9, so we're going to move them over into combat. There we go, all the Poxwalkers have moved in. We're not going to declare a charge with the Plague Marines because... Well, I think they're actually too far away to even declare one anyway. So straight onto the fight phase, the Poxwalkers are going to pile in slightly just to try and get as many models as possible able to strike. Poxwalkers have piled in. They are all just about within an inch, these back ones, just about close enough over the top of the other ones to be within an inch of people at the front. They get 2 attacks each, and for the first time we're going to get to see their rule, which gives them +1 to hit in melee if there are more than 10 of them. So we're going to have 24 attacks hitting on 4s. I'm going to do this in 2 batches of 12. First lot. Not too bad. Got
7 hits.
7 hits there. I'll roll those all straight away. Add up wounds afterwards. Wounding on 5 still. 3 wounds from the first lot. Second round. Not so good this time. 5 hits from that bunch, and then wounding on 5s. Oh, no more.
3+ armor saves. Failed 1, so 1 aggressor goes down.
So I have taken him out.
You don't get a Poxwalker because you have the maximum number of
No,
models.
once again I have failed to get a Poxwalker back, and then this guy here is going to pile in. So now the aggressors get to strike back.
So they have 2 attacks each, hitting on 4s.
Yes, because they have the equivalent of power fists.
So no hits.
They clearly were a bit stunned by that charge.
Yeah.
So that's the end of Death Guard turn 1, so we move on to Space Marines turn 2.
So my turn, the 2 aggressors are going to fall back, so they're out of melee with the Poxwalkers.
Stay an inch away.
Yeah, he's an inch away.
There we are.
And of course, being Ultramarine successors, we can fall back and still shoot. Normally I'd get -1 to hit, but of course Flamers auto hit.
Yep.
So I have 2d6 shots per aggressor, so 46 shots. So we have 15 hits, wounding on 3s. That is 12 wounds.
Disgusting resilient saves for all of these. I've made
4 of them.
4, so that means we're going to lose 8 Poxwalkers. 8 have gone down, leaving just those 4 there. But that'll be the end of Space Marines turn 2, because having fallen back, you can't charge or anything else. So we go into Death Guard turn 2. We're going to move up with the Plague Marines. They're 5 inches. And Poxwalkers, having been somewhat neutered in their effectiveness, are just going to get as close as they can on to the shooting phase. Plague Marines can all see. I'm going to start with the Plasma Gunner, who's going to try and blow himself up.
And yeah, as always. But he got a hit.
He did. I should have kept him behind a box so he just wouldn't be in danger. You've got a wound.
6+ armor save.
Ah.
Yeah, save for that time.
2 Blight Launcher, 1 hit. Wounding on not a 1. And Bolt Gun. 2 hits. And 2 wounds.
3+ armor saves. Failed 1.
So another wound on an aggressor. Yeah, and the champion with his plasma gun blew himself up, as usual, so he's gone. Charge phase, we're going to have to do it. Poxwalkers are going to charge, so you get Overwatch. This could go badly.
46 shots, or 46 hits I should say. 14 hits, wounding on 3s.
No, made 1 disgusting resilient. So all these Poxwalkers go down, but not really a great deal I could do other than that, so... At this point, there's not much to be lost from the Plague Marines declaring a charge. They're outside of the flamer range. So I'm going to roll the 2d6. Oh, that's definitely cocked. Let's try that again.
Oh,
a 10. That actually gets them in.
You might, yeah.
So they're going to come in like that. And they get to go first in the fight phase. They're going to pile in. They've got 2 attacks, hitting on 3s. 1 hit. Wounding on a 4. That's wound.
3+ armor save.
No.
You kill an aggressor.
And then he'll just pile in. Sorry, he'll just consolidate like that. And then the aggressor gets to hit back. Okay.
Sarge's 2 attacks, hitting on 4s. He got a hit.
Wounding on a 3.
Yep.
It does. I get a 6+ armor save against this, which I haven't made. It does D3 damage. For 1, so 5+. No, so 1 Plague Marine goes down. It will be him. And then that's the end of the fight phase. So we're on to Space Marine's turn 3.
So I'm just going to stay straight here in melee, because I don't want you to fire the Blight Launcher, and I'm probably more likely to kill you with the Power Fists. So I've got 2 attacks on 4s. 1 hit. That's all he needs. When you're on a 3. Yeah.
It does. 6+ armor save. Nope. D3 damage.
Oh, he's mad.
3. I'll make all of these.
No.
No, so the last Plague Marine goes down. So from a glorious Poxwalker charge at the beginning and killing off 2 aggressors, it sort of didn't quite go so well in the end for the Death Guard. But we're going to come back in a moment for the second mission. So our second mission for this episode is Burn the Traitor. Sounds fun. So we've got, sorry for the little blemish down the page there, not quite sure what's caused that, but never mind. So in this mission the Space Marine objective is to get the aggressors to the Death Guard deployment markers down here. And they only have 4 battle rounds to do it. So it's quite a tall order actually to get that far with the plodding aggressors. And then the Death Guard just have to prevent them from doing so. By the letter of the rules, it just says they have to reach a deployment marker, so I suppose as soon as they touch it, then they win instantly. That's how we're going to read that. Same forces as before. No, nothing clever about it apart from that, but we have some more new rules as usual. Plasma gun now does 2 damage when it shoots, so, but it does only wound aggressors on a 3 now. They've remembered that aggressors have a slightly higher toughness in proper rules. Don't know about that yet.
Yeah,
but
whatever toughness is.
Whatever toughness is. But so it wounds aggressors on a 3+, and still explodes. Still doesn't know how to use it on low power. Blight Launcher now does 2 damage, not D3 like it's supposed to, but 2. So 2 damage from the Blight Launcher, but that's good. That's actually I prefer 2 to D3 to be honest. It's more consistent. And other than that, it's the same. It's a little bit more. It says there, but it's just repeating things it said before. And the Multi-Melter gets some extra rules on the Blight Hauler. We don't have the Blight Hauler in this issue, but never mind. He's got some new rules, which is nice. If he's within 12 inches, he rolls 2 dice for damage and discards the lowest one when shooting the Multi-Melter. So that's nice. It won't come up again until he reappears in a couple of issues' time. But so that's our new rules. Once again, Space Marines get to deploy first, so we're going to do that and then get straight on with it. Oh, the aggressors are deployed once again, and you've squeezed as much movement as you can out of the technicalities of the deployment.
So yes, the deployment says I have to be within 2 inches of a deployment marker, so just going to get a little bit of extra.
Yep, so you're as far forward as you can within the letter of the rules, which is fine. I've deployed the Poxwalkers over there, and the Plague Marines over here to cover this avenue of escape, and try and give the Plasma Gunner a box to hide behind so he doesn't kill himself again. And with that we go on to Space Marines turn 1.
So like last time, I'm going to advance, and I really need to, because we need to be speedy about this. Yep, but we are slightly further forward.
Yep, so you're going to get a little bit closer, so you might be able to be in range of flaming those Poxwalkers.
So
no, probably not.
To about there. It's about as far as they were.
Yeah, that's about as far as they were. Yeah, a little bit further.
The other 2 are going to come behind him.
They're not in range to shoot. They advance, they can't charge, so that's going to be straight on to Death Guard turn 1. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to spread these Poxwalkers out a bit to try and form a little blockade here. Aggressors are not going to come through this way. That's the plan anyway. And Plague Marines are going to move up. Yeah, we're going to get the Plasma Gunner in line of sight because I'm excited. I've been tempted by this 2 damage it does now. Very exciting. Potential of killing an aggressor in 1 shot. Speaking of which, we'll go straight on to the shooting phase. So we're going to start with the Plasma Gun. There we go. Does it kill himself? Yes, he does. But he got a hit. And a wound.
6+ armor save. No.
Nope, so that kills an aggressor straight off.
Yeah.
2 damage. And he's dead. Once again. Light Launcher. 1 hit. Wounds on 3. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, that's important.
That is important.
Bolt Gun. 1 hit. Wounds on a 4 still. Should be a 5, but it's not. Oh, that doesn't matter anyway.
3 plus
6.
armor save.
Yes.
So your bolt gun is your best shooter. He's the only one who ever hits consistently.
And then we're not going to declare a charge with the Poxwalkers this time because they're in flamer range now, so I don't want to risk the danger of failing a charge. I'm quite happy here for the moment, so I'm not going to do that. So straight on to Space Marines turn 2, see what you can do.
I'm not going to advance this turn, I'm just going to move up normally. So first one goes up to there, and second one follows in behind. Straight on to the shooting phase, we're going to shoot at the Poxwalkers.
I'm going to try and go through them rather than around them.
46 shots. 16 hits, wounded on 3s. A lot of 1s and 2s.
A lot of 1s and 2s.
Yeah. Only 6 wounds.
6 wounds, I get my disgusting resilient rolls on... Oh, but I failed all of those, so we're still going to lose 6 Poxwalkers. So I'm going to take these ones at the back.
Then I will declare a charge on your Poxwalkers.
Okie doke. They're
6, they're definitely in. Yeah, I'm just going to go directly in. Because I could have gone round the side, but I think it's easier this way.
So they charge, they get to strike first.
4 attacks, hitting on 4s. 2 hits.
Average. Wound on 2s.
1.
1, sorry.
D3 damage.
2. So I've got to make 2 rolls. Oh,
Ugh.
Didn't kill him. And then they get to strike back, they'll pile in as best they can. Get everybody within striking range. They're going to get 12 attacks between the lot of them.
Hitting on 5s.
Hitting on 5s. 1. Wow. 8 wounds on a 5. No. So that's it for the fight phase. And for Space Marines turn 2, on to Death Guard turn 2. Well, I need to try and contain these aggressors somehow. Poxwalkers are going to fall back slightly, but they're going to fall back enough to continue to screen these Plague Marines. So there we go, they're going to fall back to form a kind of wall of Pox. And the Plague Marines have just shuffled over slightly to stand on that objective marker there. So we're going to start with the Blight Launcher. It has 2 shots, 1 hit.
Oh, that's important.
It has wounded this time though.
5 plus armor save. Come on, the Emperor protects. No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. So away goes
Another aggressor goes
Aggressor
down.
number 2. And then the
Down
Bolt Gun.
to Sarge.
Bolt Gun gets to shoot. It's got 2 hits. It wounds on 4s. It's got 1 wound.
3 plus armor save. Yes.
Bolt Gun bounces off. No charges because Poxwalkers are in the way and they fell back. So we're just going to see what Sarge can do in Space Marines turn 3.
Sarge is going to put his faith in the Emperor. We're going to get as close as we can to those Poxwalkers.
Yeah.
And then we're going to flame them. 2d6 shots. 8 hits. It's above average. Wounding on 3s. 5 wounds.
That's not too bad. Can't kill all of them though. Kill 3 of them. Well, I'm going to take these 3 away who are over here. Who are not on the objective, in other words. So that leaves them still in the way.
And then Sarge will declare a charge against both your units.
Oh, okay. So we will overwatch with the Plague Marines then. So we'll start with the Blight Launcher. Oh, it's got a hit.
Dear.
It's got a wound.
5 plus. Yes!
Oh, you did. Yeah. Okay, and then the Bolt Gun. It missed. That could be important.
4.
4 inches is enough though.
It's just going to be enough to get him into contact with your Plague Marine.
Yep, so he's just gone over there.
And then I get to pick him to fight first, so he'll pile in like that.
Yeah, so he's getting around the corner, he's avoiding the Poxwalkers, keeping them out of the fight, which is very sensible.
He gets to go first. 2 attacks hitting on 4s. Come on.
Oh.
Really on a 3.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, it hasn't wounded. The 2 Plague Marines get to strike back at him. They've got 1 hit. And it hasn't wounded.
Rerolling
but
ones.
rerolling 1s. It's a wound.
3 plus armor save. Yes.
Yes, you've made it. So he survives. And that's it for Space Marines turn 3. So I can't really fall the Plague Marines back because bad things will happen. If I fall them back and then charge the Poxwalkers quite likely just be incinerated. And then you just win because
I could walk
you could walk onto the objective. So what we're going to do is move the Poxwalkers round and try and ensure by clever positioning that you're not going to be able to move on to the objective without wiping everybody out, basically. So with that, we're going to declare a charge with the Poxwalkers. Some inches.
10.
They're going to come like this. Poxwalkers get to go first. They have 6 attacks, hitting on 5s. 1 hit, wow.
Every little helps.
Every little helps. Wounding on 5. Oh, it did.
3 plus armor save. The Emperor protects.
Fine. I get to pick. We'll go with the 2 Plague Marines. This one will pile in slightly. 1 hit. On 4, it does.
3 plus armor save. Yep.
He's fine. You get to strike back.
He's going to put his attacks on the Plague Marines.
Yep, thought he might.
1 hit again. Wounded on a 3. It wounded.
Wounded. So
6 plus armor save.
6 plus armor save. Nope.
D3 damage. Only 1. But I killed a Plague Marine.
Take away the Bolt Gunner. Space Marines turn 4 then. We reckon that the Space Marines can't possibly win due to the way that piling and consolidating works and the order in which you have to do those things, but we're just going to play out the turn anyway. See if he can kill some of these people. A couple of rounds of combat, so we go straight to the fight phase. Who are you going to strike?
Yeah, I'm going to try and kill your Plague Marine.
Okay, both attacks on him. 2 hits. Now
Oh, there we go.
He didn't wound.
That'll be it then.
That will probably be it, but we'll strike back anyway. Plague Marine, he hits. He wounds.
3 plus armor save. It's fine.
It's fine. Poxwalkers, 3 hits. 2 wounds.
Oh.
Wow.
2 3 plus armor saves.
He's
Made
fine.
both.
I don't think you failed an armor save yet.
Not for him anyway.
Not for him. So that's it for Space Marine's turn. So at this point he can't possibly move on to that objective. Well, it's Death Guard turn 4, and we're going to start the combat phase with the Poxwalkers. That Poxwalker will pile in. They have 6 attacks again. Ooh, 4 hits this time. They're getting better. Because you killed all the people they didn't like. And 2 wounds.
It's because it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore, so they've got suddenly... Oh.
And he failed, so he comes back as a Poxwalker at a point where it's irrelevant, as usual.
I get a Poxwalker back. So there we go. Total victory there for the Death Guard at the end of Death Guard turn 4. So that's it for this week's missions. We will go away for a second and we're going to come back and just talk about how it's gone. So that was the battles from issue number 11 with our Primaris Aggressors. Well, quite an interesting couple of games, I thought. We've got to see quite a lot of the new rules, a few rules from previous issues that we hadn't actually encountered so far. So we got to see the Poxwalkers with their +1 to hit for having lots of them. We got to see falling back and shoot from the Ultramarines.
Yeah, finally got a situation where I would actually want to fall back. I'm better off falling back and shooting. They also show just how deadly the auto-hitting flamethrowers are in Overwatch when you tried to charge me with your second bet in the first game.
Oh yes, it completely took them out, didn't it? Yeah.
Not quite as effective against Plague Marines. They're a bit too tough, but I don't think I actually fired the flamethrowers at the Plague Marines at all in either of those games.
You didn't know in the 3+ armour save and the wounding on 5, 3+ armour save and disgustingly resilient. It's quite hard to get through with
even
those.
with the weight of fire you get, it's still fairly difficult.
I think if you had a full 66 attacks and you rolled quite well for them, it might potentially
36 hits,
36 hits would be quite unpleasant. But yeah, I mean, in that first mission, it worked out quite well for me that I got that charge off from the Poxwalkers, at least initially. They didn't do too badly. Plasma gun didn't blow up immediately, but it did. It did eventually.
It's contractually obligated to blow up in every single mission.
Well, it is, just as a reminder, as we established a few issues ago, you can't not shoot the plasma gun. It's not. You have to shoot with everything available if possible. So beyond hiding him behind a box, which feels a little bit gamey, I can't avoid him blowing up. But soon he will learn how to use low power setting, and then he won't always blow himself up. If he does, it'd be entirely my fault. Although in the second mission, once it got 2 damage, well, he killed himself, but he took out an aggressor in 1 shot. Yeah,
the second mission is, I think, it's very difficult for the Space Marines because the 4-turn limit, you really have to get across the board fast. Maybe a couple of good advance rolls would get you there, but if you don't get them, you're snookered, basically.
Yes, indeed, and I opted to stay back for that one, and it was a bit of a gamble because if you'd rolled a little bit better, you could have probably smashed your way onto those deployment markers.
The Poxwalkers as a wall and not charging them in is probably the best tactic to actually use them against aggressors because they'll just get minced if you try to charge them.
Yes. Well, of course, I could have attempted to do what I did in the first mission and get that long bomb charge, no Overwatch for being out of flamer range, but I wasn't going to rely on that. I decided it was better to stay back, and also just a bit different, just to have a slightly different game to the first one.
I'm not sure what I'd have done differently in the second game. I think maybe if I'd rolled a higher advance roll, I might have gone across the middle of the board rather than around the edge. That might have given me some cover from your shooting, because now that your Blight Launcher and your Plasma can both do 2 damage, can kill the aggressors in 1 round of shooting if you roll well.
Oh yeah,
They're
absolutely.
an intimidating looking unit, but they are actually relatively fragile. They're not that much tougher than the regular Marines.
They're not quite Primaris Terminators, are they? They don't have they don't have an invulnerable save. They don't have an extra.
They're not as durable as I might like them to be.
No, they will get an extra pip of toughness when we learn what toughness is compared to a normal Space Marine, but at the moment, well, at least in close combat anyway, the Power Fist still wounds them on 2s, even though it should technically be 3s.
Yeah, I think that gets corrected in the next issue. We learn about strength and toughness, but
I believe you're right, yes.
And I actually start getting 6+ armor saves as well against your Power Fist.
Yes, so we're steadily moving towards the actual correct rules for all of these different kinds of weapons, but for the moment we're nearly there. The Poxwalkers did all right. They even got to turn someone into a Poxwalker. I mean, it was after the game finished.
Once again, at a point it didn't matter anymore.
Yeah, but nevertheless, it was slightly satisfying, I suppose. So I think that's probably all there is to say for this issue. If you like what you've seen, then please feel free to like, comment and subscribe. And we'll have more of these issues coming out in the near future. We try and do 2 a week, so at least until we've caught up with the release schedule as it is here in the UK. But until then, we've been the Tabletop Donkeys, and we'll see you next time.